everyone, and welcome back to Rugby Rodeo, where we have the returning Ellie Kildunne.
It's been a little while, but I'm happy to be back. Archie and yourself smashed it last week, but we all had a little bit of time off. So tell me, what have you been up to?
It's actually a bit weird because obviously I recorded last week, but actually didn't speak anything about myself, and it's our own podcast, and it was all about Archie. So yeah, I do want to talk about what I've been up to.
You're waiting for this week.
Yeah. I had 2.5 weeks in Bali, which was really nice, with Zoe Harrison, Emma Swords, and then Emma Swords' sister and Zoe's friend Chloe. And it was really nice. We did a bit of traveling, sunbathing, lots of culture things. It was really nice to switch off. Like, I've been telling everyone that, well, people that have asked me, not just projecting, but that I actually felt like I went on holiday. Like, I felt like I've been away. I've not thought about rugby, not really spoken about rugby, even though I did go away with 2 rugby girls. But it was nice that we saw lots of things like monkeys, manta rays, turtles. Like, it was just really nice, and it's definitely somewhere, if people are listening, if they haven't been to, I would definitely go to. I would have wanted maybe to spend more time there.
What were your highlights then? Because obviously people on Instagram that follow you will see lots of things that you did. You got a little new jewel in your ear.
Yeah, got a new piercing. Didn't get any tattoos, so it's sad.
Get a turtle on.
Yeah.
What's probably the top 3 things that you did when you're out there?
Good. 3 things. I think swimming with manta rays in the wild as such, like in the ocean, was pretty cool. Like, I think not many people get to do that. Like, you don't have the guarantee. Like, it's that classic, if you don't see them, you get half your money back. Well, you can come the next day sort of thing. And we saw them, which I think was really special. I really enjoyed that it was actually quite nice, my bank balance. Like, everything out there was so cheap. So like, if I got a coffee, it was £1 or like 50p. If I got on a moped, did wear a helmet, it was like 80p for like half an hour. Like, everything,
you can see why uni students take that break and go there.
Yeah, and like, I can see why people move out there. Yeah, 100%. And then I just think it was just a different lifestyle, different culture. Very relaxed, very chill. Like, you just felt like no one was watching, judging. Like, just no one was like on your case. Like, if you were late to a reservation, they were like, oh, it's fine. Or like, I don't know, just everyone was really polite, and the locals were really, really nice. So I think that helped then the holiday. You didn't feel like you were out of place, or you didn't feel like you were trashing their island or their culture, because they really like people coming over.
Well, it's quite a hotspot for tourists, isn't it? I was going to ask, because obviously a lot of places people go, it's very touristy.
Yeah.
But whenever I've seen Bali on social media, it does keep that authenticity of like the culture and stuff. Is it very much like that?
Yeah, definitely. And I think like, this isn't anything obviously against it, but like, there is a lot of like rubbish, but not that's within their culture. But like, there wasn't many bins, but I felt like I was like, well, I don't want to put this on the floor. Like, I wanted to make the country and like the ocean and the sea and all the landscapes still really like prim and proper. And I think they have so much going on, like building new hotels, like Airbnbs, like all that stuff, because they want to entice people to come on holiday. Like, they love tourists that respect the island. They hate the tourists that come like get like pissed out their mind and then just like leave rubbish everywhere.
And did you buy anything? Like, did you have to take a big suitcase out?
Have you seen that trend on TikToks where it's like, I'm going on holiday, but I'm taking my rucksack. Like, I feel like I'm going traveling. There's like a trend where you like take a rucksack, but you're staying in like 5-star hotels,
right?
But you're going to like Bali or like Thailand. So that's what I did. So I took a rucksack. All the other girls took suitcases. Could have taken a suitcase. I didn't need to take a rucksack, but I just wanted to feel a bit authentic and be like, I'm on my gap year. Yay.
Backpacking.
I got some cowboy boots.
I did see that actually.
Tailor-made and designed by moi.
Oh, that's really
yes,
cool.
They only fit my feet, so haha, mum, you can't wear them. And then I designed my own linen set.
That's really cool.
Which, and again, like, everything was just really cheap. Like, I wouldn't be able to get cowboy boots that fit me, designed by me, here for that price.
How much did you pay?
I literally think they were like 50 quid.
It's crazy. You can't even go into charity shop and get them for that.
No. And like I could design like the height and like everything. Yeah. It was really good. Yeah, they were the two things probably that I brought home, but I actually didn't bring them in my suitcase because I didn't have any room.
Or did you wear them to the
Yeah, imagine. Oh God, that would have been really uncomfortable. There would have been no room for swelling on the plane.
So you'd be swollen up to here and then it'd all be
yeah. Well, you didn't have a quick maths 14-hour flight to go on holiday. Yours was maybe only 2?
2-3 hours.
2-3 hours. But before that, you obviously been rehabbing. So
yeah,
tell us what you've been up to in the 5 weeks off.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the off season that I was gagging for. So obviously it was my first off season that I've had in the past couple of years, because last off season I went to the Olympics, but I haven't been able to go away, and I was so excited to get out like you say, Bali, like long haul flight and just stay out there, be off grid. But obviously couldn't do that and was doing a lot of rehab, but also first couple of weeks was involved with loads of commercial stuff. Pretty much spent every night pretty much in a different hotel, so it was really, really busy, but also it kind of needed to be done because May's our only time obviously before going into the World Cup preparation. But I managed to go away for a couple of the weekends in and around the commercials and the rehab, to go away to Spain. So I went to Madrid with my friend Laura, which was super fun. We literally went for this like party. It was like an Amapiano Afrobeats party in Madrid, and it was one of the best nights out I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Yeah. So it started at like 12:30, ended at 6:30, but you had no concept of time when you were in there.
Yeah.
There was like saxophones on the stage, people with bongos, and it was basically like DJ would come on and then the next DJ would come on, and I just remember coming in and being like, oh, that's my favourite song. Oh wait, no, that's my favourite song. And it was just like ongoing favourite song. And I had such a good time, boogied away. And yeah, it was, I don't think we stayed till 6:30, but it was probably about 5:30. It was a pretty late one. So we went for 3 days, but we definitely like made the most of the 3 days. And a lot of it was on the whim, because the only thing that we knew that we were doing was the party.
Right.
And it just so happened that Real Madrid were playing on, so we got there Saturday morning. And I was like, oh, what do we do? And then I had a little look and I was like, oh wait, Real Madrid are playing.
That's so fun.
So we got tickets. They're only like £80, and they were up in the skies, but it felt like you could actually watch it.
Yeah.
But the atmosphere was absolutely insane. And it was really good football, because I don't love going to football.
Yeah.
So just to make it a shorter game. If no one's going to score till the last 20 minutes, you might as well make it a 20-minute game. But it was 3-2, and there was like goals all the way through the match.
When it's 0-0, you're like, what was waste my time?
Yeah, and seeing people like Jude Bellingham on the pitch, and you're thinking, God, you've only really seen him
on the TV,
like not in the flesh, but he was just there. That was really, really fun. The stadium is insane.
Really?
Yeah, I'd love to have a chance. I think as rugby, I think we should play more in
football stadiums. Yeah,
but the it was massive, and the seats are like this. I remember looking down and thinking, shit, if someone's gonna stumble down here,
should be strapped in.
You'd be falling onto the pitch. Like, crazy. But yeah, that was super fun. Then came back, and then last minute trip went to Marbella with my home friend, and she had a couple of her friends out. And tell you what, going away with friends that are non-athletes, I can't do it. I can't keep up with it. So we'd go to like day parties, love a day party, because you get back 6:00, 7:00. First place we went to, so I was only there Saturday, Sunday. First place we got to, it was a really fun party, but I got kicked out.
Classic,
because basically there was this really drunk boy, and he was really annoying me, so I shoved him in the pool.
Right.
Anyway, next minute I've got these two massive security guards like had me like under each shoulder, carrying me out. And I was like, guys, I'm sober, like please pull me down, this is so embarrassing. But then I had to like formally apologise to the security guard to be let back in. So I was like given a timeout. Step outside, literally stood in my bikini on the side of the road. I was like, no, my phone's in there, my camera's in there, my friends are in there, please let me back in. And they're like, you can have 5 minutes and you got to form me a apology. So to like shake his hand.
It's like when you're at school and you have to write a letter saying like and repeating the sentence like over and over again.
Actually, that's what it felt like. And then we'd get back, and this happened both the days because we went to 2 parties during the day. Get back, get in the shower. I'm thinking, Brill, we're gonna
go for a nice dinner.
Yeah, go for a nice dinner. I come out the shower. These girls are ready, getting on it again to go back out into Porto Banús. I'm thinking, no way. So I'd go back into Porto Banús with them, literally have a glass of rosé and be like, right, I'm done. Yeah. I'm getting back. Another funny story. So we went to Ocean Club the next day, and basically there was some of the boys that the girls knew from the previous day, and one of them was convinced it was one of our birthdays. And if you've not been to Marbella before, people just love to show that they've got cash.
Yeah.
So this guy paid £6,000 to give us a champagne shower. No one drank the champagne. It was actually this big thing that came out, loads of people.
Sparkling.
Yeah. Everyone's champagne shower. I mean, it was great for the video. I was like, £6. You could have just given me the £6.
Yeah, I would have
just said
thanks. Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun. But the same thing happened. Then the girls went out that evening. But yeah, that was again in a really fun weekend, which I think I definitely needed. And then back into rehab again. And then for the last 10 days or so, I was out at mum and dad's place in Spain, which was complete switch off.
Yeah,
just spent every day horizontal, pretty much. Eating tapas, having the odd glass of wine, and I needed it because I was back running and was running in Spain at that time. And then Lucy came out for like the last 4 days, which was super nice because up until that point I wasn't bothered about doing anything. I just would be like, oh, it's fine, we'll just chill by the pool. And then when she came, obviously, then we went to the lakes and we went to dinner and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a really good time, and I learned so much about myself in this off time, because it didn't look the way that I'd expected it to look maybe 3 months ago. And coming into camp, I've got such a reset in my brain, and I just feel ready for what's next. It feels like a change in my life, and to have that time to learn a lot about myself, but still have fun whilst I'm doing it. It's been probably a blessing in disguise and something that I didn't think I was going to get.
Yeah, that's nice. Good reflection.
Yeah.
Maybe you found yourself in Spain. Found myself in Bali, which is what happens, really.
I mean, the only thing I know in Spanish is vino rosada, por favor, señorita.
What's that?
Please can I have a rosé?
Oh, right. But we are back. As you can see, we're not in Ellie's flat. We're not in my home. We're
definitely not in the studio.
No, definitely not in the studio. We are in a hotel.
We are in first week of official pre-season camp. Training at Hazelwood at London Irish, and this week obviously I'm not in fully still. I'm still rehabbing, but Jess, you've had the 1200, you've had some testing. How are you feeling currently? I mean, granted, guys, this is day 4. This is day 4, so
good myths.
I think there's a lot of tired bodies.
Yeah. I've actually found it all right. Not like, I was really happy with my 1200 score, which was good because the last time I did it wasn't very happy, but that was because I was coming back from my hip and I'd only done like 3 running sessions. So granted, it was going to be bad. And we had our like tough session on Wednesday. What day? Wednesday. Yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. I actually really enjoyed it.
I do have to say, so obviously on the Red Roses Instagram, people will have seen the clip.
The circuit,
yes. But what wasn't shown on that, because it's not just that. So people that are wanting to at home, it's not just that. You do the circuit, and then
5 minutes of work. Yeah,
and then you go into a run.
Yeah, we had out 5 back and then out to a 50 cone. We had that times 8, and it was on a 40-second rolling clock.
Okay. And then we went back to the circuit, and then
we
went into condition games.
Yes.
So if you do it at home, and you might think, oh, that was really easy, the girls were put through it.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of it, and the amount of press ups you have to do at night times ruin my shoulders and pecs. But yeah, try do it twice, go on a little run in between.
Yeah.
And then let us know how you feel.
Or do 2 runs, because if you're not going to be able to do the condition games, do two runs. But it was nice. It was nice to do something different, I think. Obviously,
the competitiveness, we need it.
Yeah. So we're in like 4 different groups, which is also really fun. And just, I think, not just playing rugby, I think mentally stimulates your mind more. Like there's different attributes to actually the training session, and you're not just like throwing a ball around. And I think that's really nice. And obviously the gym is really tough as well. Like we did like 3 rep, 1 rep maxes, so we can get like our weights throughout baseline throughout the pre-season. But it's been really nice being back with the girls, I think.
I think that definitely helps, like the mental switch from being off to coming back in, is that competition side of things. Like you're saying, you've got to gel, you've got to, so as much as the circuit and the team play is rugby training essentially, or fitness training, it's also a sense of like community and doing stuff together. And, you know, we talk about our values and one of them being bond, and that definitely creates that. It might not create in the full team because you're against each other and you're kind of getting at each other a little bit, but within your smaller side teams, it creates that bond because you want to do well. And today we went go-karting.
We did.
Which, again, another bond moment. Probably a lot of courage needed in that as well.
I showed a lot of courage by doing it.
Oh, yeah, by doing it, yeah. I showed a lot of courage, and I thought, I'm going to take this con. And then I spun a few people out. I ended up going straight. I thought, but to have, you know, knowing that it's going to be such a high pressure summer.
Yeah.
We've obviously, for some, like pinnacle of career moment, and we all know there's a lot to be anticipated here. To still be able to have fun within the first week, the first few days, I think is super important, and it allows that switch from obviously being away from each other and coming in, rather than it just being, right, sit down, here's the meeting, we're going to go straight into rugby, these are the moves that we're playing. We know that there's a long way to go. It is a very long season. Oh, what, 8 weeks?
Yeah, 8 weeks, yeah.
And then that's when the party starts.
Crunch times, yeah. How have you found it though? Because obviously I'm in it and doing everything, and I guess on the same schedule as everyone else, but you're slightly not. So like, do you still feel like you are in it? Like you're, or is it harder, do you think?
It's hard. I've hit a couple of low moments, I think, because I was so excited to be back in camp and be around people, and I felt really ready for it, and I felt like I was really making progress, and I was like, I'm ready to be back in. But then when I got here, it was really great to see people, but then for something to be in like reach but you can't achieve that was really, it's been really hard. Like, you know, when you girls are going through it, I want to go through it with you, and I can support, I can do my bit, and you guys obviously know that I'm working hard, just in a slightly different way, but it's hard. Like, you know it yourself, and people at home, we've spoken about it a lot. It's very easy to isolate yourself when you're not quite doing the same as other people, and that's been the thing that I think I've found hard, because it kind of sucks the confidence out. Not just like rugby wise, but also around people. I'm like, oh God, well, what do I talk about? Because I watched it, because I wasn't there, so I'm not part of the conversation. And it's easy to isolate yourself, but that was like the first 2 days, and I've kind of found myself getting back into it. I've just been tired. It's just go, because obviously as a rehabber, you watch the session and, you know, you learn from it, you encourage people, then you'll do your stuff outside of that. And when you're watching it, you stood on your feet, and I have lying my back. She stood on my feet all day. I get back and then I've got physio, and I'm like, oh, I just wanted to lie down. So that's, I guess, the difficult thing with the scheduling. But, you know, I'm making moves. I've done my first back-to-back session.
That's good.
Yesterday. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks I'll be back fully. I'm still hoping that I don't have to do the 1200. But
I'm sure you won't.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm sure you won't. But like you said, the shift, I think, is hard. Like, we've gone back to like early mornings ish. I'm sure not everyone finds them early.
I definitely find them. I begin at 11 o'clock every day.
Obviously we're getting back into like contact, the gym, like I think shifting our bodies back to
and our minds.
Like being on a schedule. Like, I think when you're on holiday, when you're not in, you can do everything to your own timings. Like if I'm like, oh, I wake up and I told myself I'm going to go run at 8, and then I'm like, oh no, I don't really feel like it, and then I go run at 11, like that's fine, but I can't do that. I can't go, sorry Mitch, don't quite feel like the session at 8, I'm going to do it at 11, is that all right? Like that's
raining outside, I'll just wait for the minutes to pass.
Like that doesn't happen. But so I think that's also hard in the first week, and I think that's also why everyone gets quite tired in the first week, because it's just so mentally different to what you've been used to for 5 weeks. But then obviously when we're in it, you're then like craving for that time off, because you're like it's like you're fighting both sides, I think, which is hard, really hard.
But yeah, I think we'll get more about camp next week, because obviously I would say we're only 4 days in now. So next week will all be about camp life, maybe a few things as well, depends on if anything else happens.
Well, I actually do have a funny story.
In
my team I have little Lucy Packer and May Campbell, and we were playing the condition games, and basically like May just suddenly ran into the space me and Lucy were in, but I don't think she saw Lucy, and Lucy went flying, and I honestly don't mean that like she just like tripped, took air time and then just suddenly bam dumped on the floor. It's like the gravity just suddenly went from beneath her and she just fell on the floor, and we were like, you're right.
She then looked up and she just started laughing.
Yeah, she did. And like we were like, you're right, Lucy. She was like, yeah, I don't really know what happened. And we were like, bless you. And I think she has got a bit, well, afterwards she had a bit of a red mark, but she's a tough cookie. I think she was fine.
She's one of the toughest cookies.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, shall we get into it? I don't know if we're still going to have the rhythm.
Well, if you heard last week's, it was awful. Archie was terrible.
I'm not helping you.
I might as well have just done it on my own. It was awful.
Right, we'll get into it. Okay.
I had to start. Sorry, I had to do listeners. Yeah, it was weird. No, I said, can you do? And he was like,
my bit.
And he was like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing. And I was like, it's nice of you to listen every week.
Right. Okay. Listeners,
questions.
Listeners,
questions.
Listeners,
questions.
Listeners,
questions. Listeners, questions. That's so much better than last week's. Gosh, that was good.
I'm proud of
it's because I didn't look at you. That's why.
I was looking at you in the camera. Oh, she goes.
Lucy has asked how to find the perfect balance between life and sport.
I think that's something that you try work out as you go. A lot of things I can't speak for both of us, but I know I still try work that out, and there's times that I definitely get it wrong, because your life does kind of become the sport.
Yeah, well, especially for us, because it's our job.
It's our job. We're in camp. Our friends, best friends, partners are all involved in the sport.
Not anymore.
Like everything that is part of your life is somewhat involved in the sport. But I think it's just understanding that there's not a certain mold for it, and knowing to take time for yourself and being clear on, is this something that I want to do, or is this something that I'm ticking off to be a bit of a people pleaser?
Yeah.
Or to what I think might be right because someone else is doing it.
Yeah.
And I think also having goals outside of sport, you can have sporting goals, but then having clear goals, short, medium, long term, or aspirations or projects that take you away from the sport completely. It might be a university degree, it might be buying a house, having a dog.
Yeah.
That you've got something that is deemed like normal and it's got no connection back to what you do as your profession.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think like our life is rugby, but it's also our sport, like what we love. So like I think we've had to change that. Actually, our life isn't rugby. It's that I go and do stuff with my friends, or I see my family, or like I dress up and go for nice meals, like whatever it is, like you just take your mind off it. I think that's really important. Like you have like a dedicated day, not that I do, but like it might be easy to be like, okay, well, every Friday I'm not gonna speak about rugby or do anything to do with rugby, whatever it is. I'm just gonna go and let my hair down.
Leon has asked, what's one thing that you couldn't live without when you're away in camp?
It's hard because I still have my car. Like you read this one before we started recording and said like Aveeno's like a moisturizer. If I don't have it with me, I'll just go to the shop and get it.
No, that's true, but then you'd have it. That's true. It's not something that you have to take with you, but like Let's see.
But that's like a thing I need every day, like regardless if I'm in camp or not. Like it's like toothpaste. Like, sorry, I don't want to have smelly breath.
No, that's true. But the thing why I said Aveeno, so obviously this is not a sponsored ad, any moisturiser. So
no, Aveeno.
Fine, Aveeno.
Not any. Sorry, no, I don't want any. I'd love Nivea to sponsor us, but I don't want Nivea. I don't put it on my body. I put Aveeno on my body. Yeah.
But I think because we are in shorts all the time.
Yeah, I don't want
like the necessity of having to moisturize all the time. I don't want dry ass legs.
No. I think it's really unattractive. And here you are, Rob, our producer. He always asks us for icks. That's an ick.
Yeah.
Dry, scaly legs is an ick.
It's okay because I do have. We're dry skin girlies.
Yeah, so we are. Dry skin girls.
we understand it. But also it can get uncomfortable when we're like training outside all the time. You sweat, you come inside, you dry off, and then you go again. It can get really uncomfortable. And also, if you want your tan to last with at this May time, you have to wear moisturiser.
You have to. I've been lavering it on.
Yes, same. I've got body oil as well.
Have you? It makes me feel a bit like
sticky. As well. But I do like the feeling of just like you're glowing. It's just like
it makes me.
So what's your answer? What do you not
I don't know. I couldn't live without, other than obviously like Aveeno moisturiser, my eye mask and earplugs.
Sleep is a big thing.
Talking about recovery is key.
We need it this camp.
Yeah, we do. Taylor has asked one rugby law you'd change.
Easily, I would bring back the shadowing or guarding of the person going up in the air for like as a fullback or a winger or whoever's in the backfield. What you used to be able to do is once the ball's kicked, people who are retreating backwards can almost like shield you so that if people are coming through to tackle, they've got to get around those people. Obviously, you can't make it obvious. Anyway, now no one can beat there. And it's a risk going up. You've got to be very good at it, but it is just a clear compete in the air. And for the safety of my body, I would love those people to come back. Please.
Yeah, it's scary. Mine would be, obviously can't take them away because that's what rugby is, but if the scrum goes down and the ref obviously doesn't know who's given the penalty away, whatever, it should just be a free kick straight away. Like we shouldn't have to do a reset. I'm not here for that. Like sometimes it'll be like 5 resets or 4, and we're standing there like like
don't know it's fault.
Yeah, and all the props are like, and I'm like just tap it, give it to the 8, and can we play? Do you know what I mean?
Crack on. Jermaine has actually asked me, what do I write on my wrist tape for games? So on one of my wrists, I put a smiley face. Just if I get lost in the moment, to remember to smile. I think it's very easy to get wound up, and I would just put it there just to remind myself how much I do love it and how much happiness it gives me. And then the other, I put a butterfly for someone who's quite close to me who passed away and loved butterflies. It just reminds me of her. And it means that whenever I'm playing a game, she's always with me. She's always watching me and supporting me, and I feel connected. And then next to it, I put it's a flower, but it's a sunflower. And for that, I just think sunflowers beam so much energy. So it reminds me to be the sunflower, be the energy, and, give that to myself, give that to my team, for the supporters as well. So it's just little things that remind me. And I've done that for a couple of years now, have had the same things on my wrists, and it just reminds me for like why I'm doing things, because you can get easily lost in the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Do you draw a sunflower every time, or do you have a stencil?
No, I draw it every time. There's always a butterfly just to the left and then a flower to the right. I know it's sunflower.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No, it does just
I'm going to look next time and be like...
And I always do the sunflower and butterfly on my right hand because I can draw that.
Yeah, does Harriet... yeah.
So I'm like, can you just do this?
Our team manager. I think that's really sweet as well to involve
And
her.
sometimes I put a smiley face. I wear grip socks, and then to put the grip socks to our normal socks, you got to tape around it. Sometimes if I'm feeling cheeky, I'll put a smiley face on the back of there, because...
Yeah, they can
once I've stepped someone and they're looking at me running down.
They're seeing the smile face, piss them off even more.
Give us a smile. The same way I've got to look at that when I'm getting pissed off. Go on, just give us a smile because you're looking at my heels now.
So Scott has asked why there are no Saris players in team of the season. Well, Scott,
You tell me.
all right? This is a public announcement for the PWR. I'd love a rationale, or everyone, I think, would love a rationale to why.
I saw the Sarri's post.
Yeah, Sarri's posted their social media. That's where all our money's gone this year on that budget. It's gone on that social media post. My mum has gone justice for May. # justice for May.
That as well.
I think some rationale would be good. Yeah. You can't finish second in the league and have no players in team of the season. I get it's done on stats, but like
May's stats
are unbelievable. She's top joint top point try scorer. She is like top tackler. Like how her stats not good. And like this isn't against Amy, and I'm sure she'll be fine with me saying it, but she's baffled how she's in anyway. She was like, I've only played like 5 games. Yeah. So yeah, Scott, I don't know.
Anyway, okay, so last question. Lou messaged because he saw that you were in the new Adidas advert, which is fantastic. The question is, do you get taught how to pose or behave on photo shoots, or do you just learn on the go? Being a rugby player and a model are very different things.
Stop. Behave is a very odd, like, I think behaving, you just be yourself. The poses they do guide you in, but I think
you do start feeling yourself, don't you?
Yeah. And like you get your hair and makeup done and you think, yeah, all right, I'm looking all right today. And obviously put the kit on, which is styled for you. I'm glad I fake tanned because I did have a bit of paler colour. But yeah, I think there's music on.
Yeah,
they give
music
you
helps.
Yeah, they give you confidence, like as the directors, the like cameraman, photographer, they're like, yeah, get it girl. Like, yeah, okay. Like I obviously in the video don't have a top on in a couple of the shots, and they did say to me, which was very, very like nice, they were like, oh, do you mind if you're like just in your sports bra? Like we want this to be really empowering, like we want to show off like muscles, like physiques and stuff. I was like, girl, you don't have to ask me twice.
Get it off.
Yeah, but I just think that's really nice, and I think to be part of such a big campaign, and obviously we're bringing out the women's only boot, like they're phenomenal. Like I'm not just saying that as obviously
that's their opinion. Yeah, done.
But they have been designed by us as female athletes, and there's so much research that has gone into them that we are trying to prevent women in rugby to get injuries. Like obviously you can't prevent it, but like we just want to stop those 1%ers that can really help. Like the Achilles support is like crazy. There's like widening at the front for people who have wider feet, but obviously you can have them narrower. I just think they're actually really, really comfy.
It definitely helps, not just on photo shoots, but any appearances that we do, that if you believe in what it is, it's very authentic and you want to be there, you want it to look good, and then when it's authentic, you're comfortable.
Yeah, and I think you can see that in all of the girls in the adverts, is that like everyone is promoting a brand or an item, a product that they believe in. Yeah,
100%. Right, well, thank you for all the questions.
They were good ones.
Yeah, they were very good ones.
Missed them, actually.
Good talking points as well. I'm sure we'll circulate back at some point. So, first shout out goes to Dings under 16 girls for beating the 3 times reigning champions, Sandal. Wow. Actually, I know the team Sandal. It's quite close to...
Well done.
Yeah, well done,
yeah. Mansfield under 14s and under 16 girls for doing awesome at the Tigers Sevens Festival.
Well done. Sam's Sunflowers Hailing Island have planted flowers in the shape of the World Cup logo. Send us a photo, please, because we'll make sure that we get that out there. That is so cool.
That's amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm actually excited to see that.
Yeah, please show us.
And the colours. Salisbury RFC girls have said, Tara said, these girls are amazing and make everyone involved feel so proud. Fly high, Spitfires. Woo!
Go girls.
Go girls.
And shout out to Old Alanians and their 2 new women's rugby teams. That's fantastic.
2?
Yeah, that's really good.
That's really, really good. God, I wonder how many numbers they have.
Yes.
And finally, to Oundle, whose first ever women's team have just finished their first season in the Inner Warrior and are now entering the NC3.
That's brilliant. Well done, guys.
That's really good. I think it's really nice when we get shout outs of women's teams that have just started and then they're getting into like a league.
It's showing the growth of it.
Yeah.
And, the amount of work that's put in behind the scenes. And also people finding the way to these clubs is brilliant. And it's, it's only just the start. It's going to get bigger. And that's what we've been wanting for so long now.
Yeah.
So keep it up. Well done, everyone.
Well done. I know I mentioned it last week about Ella Cromack, but I think just another shout out. She does deserve another shout out.
Smashed it. Dan Carter who?
Yeah, absolutely smashed it. If you haven't seen already, go over to her, I think it's Ella Grace Kicking page on Instagram. She is raising money for her dad's cancer treatment. She's raised a lot of money, but anything could help.
Yeah.
But she did a kicking challenge and she smashed.
Absolutely smashed it. We don't
Smashed
want to
the target.
Story,
no.
24 hours of kicking, and yeah, she smashed it out the park.
Yeah.
So Dan Carter, if you're listening to this,
sorry, you think he's listening? Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, Dan Carter, listen to this. You better book up your ideas because you've been absolutely smashed. Ella Cromack's in time.
Didn't she do it in didn't she beat his in 4 or 6 hours? It was crazy.
Easy.
Yeah, he must have been with a Zimfra or something, get to the next kicking. But yeah, thanks again for all your lovely shout outs, and thanks everyone for listening to this week's episode. Make sure you keep checking in on our preparation for the World Cup as it ramps up. 100%. This is obviously week 1 of many. So we might have more bags in the next couple of weeks under our eyes because we will be tired.
Not if you got your sleep.
No, yeah, well, I won't be.
I'll just be silky smooth and you'll but with bags.
Yeah. Also check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, but most importantly, make sure you're subscribing here on Spotify. But for now, yeehaw!